So you start at the FARP, and the first thing you should do is load up on troops. And for example, a manpad, it at the moment it's just one guy, so it doesn't affect the weight of the helicopter, and you can put them out with the troops or the units you're sling loading. Next thing is to take off and find the command bunker with the two large antennas, usually located a bit outside of the base area. And it's pretty easy recognized by the grass roof bunker with twin towers or masts. Of course, you check with your side, your GCI, what's needed for sling loading and how you can help your side. If they need ground troops or they need air defense for bases and such. So what you want to do is set it down pretty close to this base, not pointing directly at the bunker, because then they're going to spawn in the containers on it, and that's going to be hard to sling load or attach the containers. Then you bring up the menu, make sure you are on PVT on intercom mode, so you get the right where is it? Menus. Then you go to F10 others, F9 acquisition lights, and then you can choose the category. And let's put up radar Tunguska. And Tunguska is 2Q, that means 2 in quantity, and 3 containers. That means that I need to sling load 3 containers, and when I unpack them, they're going to be 2 Tunguskas. Once I sling loaded them all together and unpacking them. So I press it, and then they're going to spawn a container in front of me. That's why we shouldn't face the bunker itself. So we're going to move a bit closer. Set it down. Bring up the menu, and then gonna find the error here. F6, all cargoes, and usually the ones in front of you closest is the one furthest up the list, so F1. Now I've selected which cargo I want to attach to. If you haven't already bound your keys, I really recommend you bind external cargo hook on your HOTAS and external cargo auto unhook. That's basically the only one buttons you need for sling loading. So I've selected the cargo and I'm pressing the hook button, checking that the cable comes out and hooks the container. You also get the text message. What you want to do now is pretty much take off straight up. I don't know exactly the height of the cable, but around 60 feet on the radar altimeter is the length of the cable, so you shouldn't start moving before you clear that. Otherwise you're gonna drag the container on the ground and damage it. and you will of course get messages if it's damaged or the wire breaks or something like that. There's not really any limitations of how high I can climb or fast. Oh. And of course I forgot to turn on my altimeter. And then you're gonna hear the crew chief talk, explain what the cargo is doing under you, but since I'm on red side, there's a Russian voice instead. At least as long as he's talking, there's cargo beneath you. At this point, you just want to move about 1.5 kilometers outside a radius from the bunker. At least 1.5 kilometers. Then you can put it down and unpack it. Or at least unhook it. So let's try for the greenish field here, just behind this tree line. You shouldn't exceed 80 knots, and you shouldn't do too sudden turns or stuff like that. Then the wire's gonna break, and there's not really any use in trimming the helicopter at this sling loading maneuvers, because it's gonna change with the rotation of the cargo anyway. So let's set it down here, and as soon as you want it starting to descend, you can actually push the auto unhook activation, and then you just need to keep it pretty steady and not exceed minus or descending 5 feet per second, and just watch the vertical speed, checking the radar altimeter, and around 60 feet usually unhooks, and then you get the message up in the right corner. You should try hover as still as possible so you don't drag around the cargo and damage it, because then you have to bring a new crate. And we're closing down, and we got the message cargo unhooked. Then I usually just want to check that the container is looking okay. And first container is out, and let's go and spawn another container. What you can do is do a quick landing and let off your manpad troops to start protecting the crates if you want. I'm saving mine for later. I want to put it a bit further out from the airbase. Then of course you can choose APCs, tanks, stuff like that. The better equipment, usually there are more crates to spawn or sling load, and usually lower quantities. So T90s and stuff like that is usually 4 crates, which only gives one single unit. You can have a total of 5 units out, and when I say units in this case, it's different groups. So the Tunguskas are 2 qualities, but it counts as 1. And acquisition count. So, second crate. Close in on it. Bring up the menu once again. All cargoes, usually the top one closest to you. Check the cable. And take off vertically, or as vertical as possible.
Трос натянут. Груз троса в норме. Можно взлетать. Поперечная раскачка 10. Трос убрал люка. Сбрось скорость.
Then you can, if you own combined arms module, you can jump into the units and drive them yourself, or let the ground commander take control over them and send them to attack bases, FARPs and air bases. And of course all points your sling-loaded units acquire you get the points for. So even if you're offline, the units can continue getting you points. And the points you can use for bomb strikes and stuff like that, or AUX, or refueling to help your team. So I'm starting to descend, pressing out on hook, checking my vertical speed. Can actually go a bit further down, usually dropping pretty rapidly until I'm close to 100 feet. Try to slow down. And I've actually crashed a couple of containers because I put them on top of each other. They'll fall down and get damaged. Let's get the last one. I'm by no means an expert at this. I'm only started sling loading a couple of days ago. I've owned the module, UE module, for quite some time, but I've never actually done sling loading before, so kind of fun actually. You help the team, but you can do your own stuff. Concentrate on that. Once again, menu, F10 others, F9, in this case radar SAM, Tunguska, 2 crates out, and we're spawning the 3rd crate. So after this we should be able to unpack, hopefully, and get a unit out. Fly up closer, bring up the menu, all cargo, choose a cargo, press the hook button. Take off.
Отчет рост натянут.
Check you clear the ground
Груз трасса в норме.
and start flying. I usually don't fly faster than 60 knots.
Поперечная раскачка.
I don't know exactly the speed the cable breaks, but
Трос убрай, Люка. Сбрось скорость.
and hopefully we're far enough away from the command center to actually unpack it. Otherwise, you have to pick him up and move him some further.
Трос убрай, Люка. Сбрось скорость. Поперечная раскачка. 10. Поперечная раскачка. 10.
Enemy bases are actually just through that valley to my south. Should keep my eyes open. Starting to slow down and sink. Pressing the out to unhook. Checking your radar altimeter.
Поперечная раскачка.
Checking the vertical speed. Trying to stay in reasonable hover.
Груз 10 до земли. Груз отцепка.
Cargo unhooked.
Осторожно, командир.
There we have 3 hold containers, not damaged or anything like that. What you want to do then is just land close to 3 of them. And to unpack, bring up the menu, F10 others, and this time the action menu. And there you find unpack crate. Here you either get the message that you're too close, you don't have all the crates, or in this case unpacking and we have the units up. The containers will still be here until the server respawn, and then they're gonna disappear. So 2 Tunguskas spawned and they were automatically get commands to engage aircrafts and stuff like that. So you don't really need to do anything further now if you own if you don't own combined arms. If you do, now you can land, switch to tactical commander, and issue orders or change the readiness status and stuff like that on the units. And let's just for sake of it unload the man pad we're carrying here as well. Menu, F10 others, action menu, and load extract troops. And you deployed a man pad. In this case it's only one guy. That's why you should always bring one, because it doesn't influence the weight of the helicopter, and then you get a free unit to put out and defend, in this case Tunguskas. And that's basically it. You can sling load repair trucks, and you can sling load ammo trucks and base repair kits and stuff like that from around the bases, or SA-10 systems, which is like 4 or 5 crates. So they're pretty big, but pretty long range as well. So which can just for fun of it show you a damaged container someone dragged it to the ground or crashed with, so you can see the visual effect of a damaged container. And if you have any other tips or tricks, or doing something completely bananas and wrong, please give me a comment. That concludes the sling loading basic tutorial.